online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No. 7 times the... Music, gaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment.
Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
At Tyson, we know taste is local. Some like their beef pit smoked, their chicken spiced all the way up, or their pork sweet and saucy. Local flavors, global impact. That's what feeding the world is all about.
Now, you can live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant-quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Vanilla smoked sea salt seasoning is for seafood. The tarragon and fennel bring out the natural sweetness in seafood. I also use it in rice dishes, on yams, asparagus, blueberry pancakes, and believe it or not, chocolate chip cookies. Vanilla smoked sea salt adds a salty and savory component to sweet dishes that create a symphony for the tongue.
Okay, good evening and welcome to another live edition of the O&G Strike Zone. Brian Fulford, Kelvin Rozier, Kofi Hemingway, ready for another good show. Plenty to talk about, plenty of things going on the highest of 7 hills on the campus of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, better known as FAMU to many of y'all out there. We are a show brought to you by the Black College Sports Network that covers all things related to FAMU athletics and culture. And so I bring to you the triumvirate, my good friends, Kelvin Rozier, Kofi Hemingway, born Rattlers. I'm the newbie. I'm the guy who moved into town. So this is a show about
you ain't no newbie no more. You've been a Rattler for about 30 years now. Now, come on now. You ain't no.
I'm officially over half of my life. Yes, over half of my life, definitely. I've been a Rattler, proud to say. So, how's everybody doing today? Kelvin, Kofi, how you guys doing?
Doing great, man. How are you?
You know, feeling a little bit wiser, a little bit older, sometimes appreciating. You know, it's Teacher Appreciation Week. Birthday weekend's coming up, so I'm excited. I'm feeling blessed. I haven't got as many gifts as I was hoping for, but maybe all the kids are saving it for the end of the week. Fingers crossed. We'll see.
Well,
Right.
if you're relying on the younger generation, Brian, good luck to that one, man. It's
Yeah.
50-50 on that
Yeah, I know.
proposition. Oh, by
Yeah,
the
I
way,
know.
I
I knew it.
I, I want to give props to our wonderful producer Mel. She dropped some serious knowledge before we came on air and so forth, and I was having a little
Yeah.
fun with it. But I hear you, Mel. I hear you. And also, I want to give a shout out to my wife. She, the reason I was late last week's show, she earned her PhD, and we were celebrating her graduation and so forth. So, Dr.
Let's
Rozier, hold it
go.
down.
Dr.
Dr.
Rozier,
Rozier.
let's
Yes,
go.
yes, indeed. Yes, congratulations, Dr. Rozier. And I saw, I believe the number, don't quote me here. It's over 1,300 new graduates from the spring 2022 class. So hopefully somewhere along the way, those new Rattlers will find our show. And most importantly, welcome to the family, the alumni edition. And this is where it gets fun. Them 4 or 5 years you spent, that was nothing. Now you get to spend the rest of your life, celebrating the orange and green in those 4 years, 4 or 5, sometimes 6, spent on the hill, and all that comes with it. So that'll be good times for all. Want to remind everybody, follow the show, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at O&G Strike Zone. You can also find us by going to the Jericho Broadcast Network's app, which is on your Google and Apple Play Store. Search MyJBN, MyBCSN. Send us an email if you have any thoughts, comments, questions, ongstrikezone@gmail.com. And also, you can donate to the show. We're taking donations now. So now we appreciate everybody who donated last week. Much love. Thank you to our first initial group of donations that came in. Anything that you guys, feel like blessing us with is appreciated. Doesn't matter if it's $1 or more. We appreciate it. It goes a long way to what we're doing. So you can find that link on our Twitter feed. If you go Twitter, O&G Strike Zone, it's right there. It's pinned to our page. There's also a link on our Facebook and Twitter. I'll make sure to send that out a little bit during the break to you guys who are watching in the YouTube chats as well as the Facebook chats as well, trying to get all that together. Well, gentlemen, we got a lot to talk about on the docket today. Yeah, a little bit later, we'll be taking phone calls. I think that was a heads up to let you know that the lines are working. So a little bit later, we'll be taking your phone calls. Lots of big topics off the field. Of course, we got a break. Now, we have a list. We have 18 names. 18 names. And somehow our own Kofi Hemingway is not on the list. I'm personally a little upset about that. Kofi, are you feeling a little bit upset about that, not being on that list?
Am I feeling what now?
A little upset. You should be a little upset.
No, not really. I think that at this particular time, Dr. Robinson has the right to choose who he feels comfortable with. And I think based off a few of my words, I don't know if he'd be comfortable with me necessarily being up there on the committee. So,
comfortable with a lot of people. That's all I can say. Bro.
I don't know if he feel necessarily comfortable with me right now. But let me just say, first of all, I'm disappointed because I feel like Dr. Robinson should have been more prepared. It is absurd to think that, this whole thing with Courtney had been going for at least minimal 8 months, a minimum of 8 months. And he didn't take the time out to get a search firm, a consulting firm, or a short list of names that could have made this process a whole lot easier. Furthermore, that tells me that he doesn't have anybody around him to even suggest that. So I question just his leadership team and what he's thinking about in regards to the nature of what's happening and what's going to happen next. And then it's kind of like, when we were in elementary school, we had, when they picked people to be on the kickball team, the whole goal was you had to be able to kick, catch, or run. You had to have some type of asset to help the team win. This ninja picked 18 people and didn't even include your name brand or one of your main governors in Rattler Nation, and Coach Willie Simmons. So I'm like, what are you thinking? How are you thinking? What made you come up with this darn list? And why did I had to calm down because I don't want to cuss on this evening. I want to try to keep it family friendly and everything before I get disclaimer. So I have to take a deep breath and give myself some therapy and everything so I don't go off key. But 18 people. It was enough to just be like, bro, just can we get some technology to come and help us? Something else other than this foolishness that Larry Robinson is coming up with. Because again, in my conversations with him, one of the things that I said to him personally was, your legacy in academia is amazing. I think it's great. But your term as president is largely going to be defined by how you managed athletics. And today, he doesn't get a passing grade from me. It's an outright, it's definitely lower than us. I can't even give him a darn C at this point because he's just unprepared and very nonchalant about it, And for me, it gets I should just give him an F right out this sorry joker just sitting up there talking about some darn 18 people.
It's funny you brought up. Hold on, Kelvin. What did I say in the pregame? I was looking for what sport have you seen 18 people on and been successful and see it be? I mean, they don't have 18 people on a baseball field, football field, soccer pitch, and then Kofi said kickball. That's where you get 18 people on the field. Back in elementary, you get 2 classes. You have about 18 people on the field, 9 infielders, 7 outfielders. The pitcher, and no one needed to catch, or maybe you had a catcher, right? 18 people. There you go.
Bro, we done had the darn FAMU 5. We've had the thick 36, and now we got the FAMU 18. It's just like,
the FAMU,
where?
Is that the name for it? The FAMU 18? Is that what we're calling that? The FAMU 18?
That's what I'm calling. I'm calling it the darn FAMU 18. Like the FAMU 18. Where do we go from here? And why in the world did he think it take 18 people to go through all those resumes? Just ridiculous, man. Just ridiculous. I have to calm down. I need to take a nice look, because I don't want to go off on a tangent. But
before I come over to you, Kelvin, we've got a couple of new polls up on Twitter. Go to twitter.com @O&G Strike Zone. Let us know. Do you agree with Dr. Robinson's decision to name 18 people to a committee in search of an athletic director?
No.
And then the other question, quiet.
Hell
the other question is 18 people on a search committee too many, not enough, or just right? Go to twitter.com /@O&G Strike Zone. Go make your voice heard. Go vote there. Those of you right there, and let us know. Kelvin, before we break down and look at this list of names, what are your thoughts on this committee, and how do you compare this to other committees that you have seen in the past?
So I'm gonna start off talking about something else that's kind of related and then tied in, right? So if you notice what happened with the MEAC, there was discussion of adding Chicago State to the MEAC. The
Right.
ADs, the athletic directors in the MEAC voted 7-1 to admit Chicago State.
Right.
Then it went to the President's Council. The President Council voted 2-6 against admitting Chicago State to the MEAC. So the ADs, who are supposed to be the experts in athletics, 7-1 thought it was a good idea. And then the presidents at the universities, who limited in their knowledge of athletics, went against what their own ADs voted for,
If
almost
we had,
to the key.
ooh,
That
That's
is a
so
microcosm. That is a microcosm of what's wrong with HBCU athletics, frankly. And that's 18 committee per thing is part of that. Number one, you would want to odd them just in case there's a tie or something. Number two,
thank
I don't
you.
know.
Thank
I
you.
don't I don't know how you schedule 18 people consistently to review all this stuff, right? I know we got
Right.
technology and stuff, but these people got other jobs, real jobs and so forth. So, on paper, some of these folks, they're part of your DSOs and key constituents within a university. So on paper, you can say that, they try to cover all bases, but
We
in
covered it. We
reality,
covered everything.
but in reality, this is dysfunction. All right. So across the tracks, they just had a new AD hired.
Mm,
It took about 5 days, maybe, for them to hire that
mm.
person. It makes no sense. This is. I haven't heard
Who
anything
made the
about a search.
decision of hire?
Well, of course, the president ultimately makes that decision, but I do think they had a smaller group, but they had a search firm, which is what most functional folks do, who come and solicit those applications, collect them, and send them. And if you ask them to, which I would, you want to, pare it down to a top 5 or so, and then have them review and have your president committee or your president, however you doing it, to vet those candidates and and rank them and go with the person, ultimately. But 18-person committee, I just wonder what the timeline is for them to make this decision, to be honest, and what the process will look like. In the past, I think the process was, you pare it down to 16 or so, 16 to 20, and then it gets down to 6 8 for interviews, maybe. And then I think the final 3, meet with the executive leadership, and instead of ranking those final 3, you kind of choose out of those 3. I'm already on record. I hate the committee process. There are good people. Let me say this now. There are good people on the committee, and their intentions are well-being. Some of these people have been on previous committees. Quite a few of them have been on previous AD search
Mm-hmm.
committees. And what I
Mm-hmm.
would say is this: just because you have a role in a organization or you have a title, don't make you the best person to hire an AD. Right? There's nobody with athletic administration experience that I saw on the committee. You didn't have none of your revenue generating sports represented. I understand, for Title IX purposes,
ooh.
having Olympic representation, but you got to have your money makers at the table, at least one of
You
them.
should.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, just like I mentioned about on paper, our previous AD was a bad hire, and some of the things that have come out about about that points to why that was a bad hire. Well, this committee and how it's structured and the whole idea of it is not structured for success. That's my opinion.
No, I agree. So this came out on Monday morning. So obviously this is just 48 hours, a little over 48 hours old. Um, Dr. Shanta Friday Stroud, the vice president
You're
for
not gonna
university
read all
advancement.
18 names, are you?
What I will
You're not
do,
finna read
no,
no
no,
18
no.
names. Please don't read the
But
18
okay,
names.
can I finish for a second? I'm not gonna read all 18. I wasn't
Oh
gonna
my
break
God, that's
down.
gonna drive me nuts. I got ADD, man. You cannot sit up there and read them dirt 18 names.
But well, here's the importance of looking at. Can I at least say, look? here's what happened though, Coach. We got to admit what happened though. The
We
man
know what
chose.
happened.
No, but some people don't know. We know, but the people that we talking to don't know. So we got to tell them. We got to educate them. Most of the people on this, tell me if I'm wrong, Kelvin, when you look at this list, they all at some point have an interaction with the athletic department, do they not? You've got the boosters, you've got student government, board of trustees, student affairs, 220 quarterback club, the national alumni, the foundation board, alumni faculty. I mean, the Rattler F Club, the Senate representation, the foundation. I mean, am I missing anybody on here who does not have an interaction with the AD?
The band.
Ooh, there you go. Well,
I don't know too many AD searches that have a representation for band members. Just like I don't know too
No,
many
I'm
band
just
searches
the
that have a
committee didn't make no sense. No way. The committee
that have
didn't
an
make
AD
sense
on it.
anyway. He asked
look,
about, who would know who wasn't represented it. I was just saying the band wasn't represented since they got, people from the 220 club, the F club, the YPWW club, the Willing the Workers, the Fried Chicken Club. I mean, we got all these
look,
people up there on the darn committee, and none of them have any experience really in running athletics. And I want to slow down again because I'll end up saying
but
something
that's
that I
not what.
really shouldn't say. But
Right.
let me just say this again. This speaks to Dr. Robinson's lack of attention and dedication to FAMU athletics. It is the reason why we don't really have a consistent growth, consistent championships. Our facilities have been dilapidated under his leadership. Had it not been for COVID, everything about our facilities would probably be in the same spot. Seriously.
Okay.
Had it not been for COVID and AD Gaucher had that time and that extra bit of resources that weren't going to travel in XYZ, our facilities would have remained decrepit, ridiculously bad, and it's largely because of the leadership. They were about to shut down Bragg Stadium.
Yep.
About to shut it down. FAMU athletics is one of the pillars of the institution. Just like SBI, just like the band, just like pharmacy.
Is it?
All of those
They don't
things.
act like it. They don't act like it. They don't act like you called it one of the pillars. No one acts like it is.
It's in the darn alma mater. It's just President Larry Robinson and his approach to this that has left us, just led us astray, man. He need to get out the way. I'm ready for him to go.
Look, I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna plant a flag and die on the hill for Dr. Robinson. But there have been other presidents before Dr. Robinson, and there have been other athletic directors under those other presidents. And so, you call that one of the pillars of our university, which it should be, but it has not been treated that way. So the bigger question, we have to start asking, why has it not been? Since Dr. Humphreys, why has it not been one of the pillars of our university? Now, I don't know if we want, don't go off on conspiracy theories here, but it's a question that we really should ask, why it is not one of the pillars, as you stated.
Do you really want to answer?
Let's
sure.
go.
I wouldn't ask why. I wouldn't ask why if I didn't want an answer.
The answer is us. We have allowed alumni, supporters, etc.
Absolutely.
We have allowed and disassociated ourselves from the process so much that we say you got a person who's the president, you got a board, and you got an AD, and we're gonna let them do their job. Well, separating yourself from that whole process when there's no vision being given, there's no capital campaign or fundraising, no resources being put into that, then you get what we have been over the last 20 years, which is a lack of a consistent championship team with multiple NCAA violations, and most of them dealing with because we don't have the resources, we didn't have the people in place to do the things that we needed to run a Division I athletic program. So the issue is us, right? We want to blame the president. We keep turning over ADs. We keep turning over. We blame the Tallahassee mafia. We come up with all kind of foolishness, right? And that's what that is. That is foolishness. The problem is that we get with our different cliques. I know Kofi, I ain't want to get you started, but I got to go here. You got these different cliques, whether you're affiliated with this or you're friends with this person, or and all this other stuff that don't matter, and you work against the greater good of the department, and you let things happen to good people for no reason, and people who actually putting this thing together and holding it together, and then you want to
Come
say,
on now.
well, why this and why that? Why? Because it's us. We're the problem, and we're the solution. So I'm interested to see what Rattler Nation gonna do. They've been crying and crying about someone who wasn't even a Rattler, who been here less than 2.5 years, getting out of here and got leaving a trail of mess. At the end of the day, he leaving a trail of mess. All right, so it is what it is as far as I'm concerned. He wasn't following policies and procedures. He didn't follow the procurement laws. He got NCAA violations. I mean, you name it. It's on
Messy.
the platter. It's on the platter.
Messy.
You got
He was
beans,
so
greens, potatoes, tomatoes. Look, for real.
you name it.
Right.
You name it,
Beans,
it's all there.
greens, potatoes, tomatoes. Look, on the real though, and I'm in agreement with Kelvin on this. This is why we have to be outspoken and really involved at this time. We should be outraged that he had the nerve and audacity to pick 18 people to be on there. The 18 people should be speaking out that they're like, why in the world do we have 18 people on the committee? They should be outraged. But more importantly, we need to center ourselves and prepare ourselves for the bigger picture. Okay? What is the bigger picture? Well, guess what? This is an election year. So while we're out here majoring in minor issues, we really need.
What happened? Did we lose him? Sniped him?
Snap.
Oh, he got sniped.
Yeah.
Sniped him. Well, that might be a good time for us to take a breather and take a break. I want to remind everybody watching us on YouTube and Facebook, go over to Twitter during the break, twitter.com/O&G Strike Zone, and vote. Let us know your votes. Do you agree with Dr. Robinson's decision to name 18 people to a committee in search of a new athletic director? And then tell us, is that 18-person committee too many, not enough, or just right? I'd actually in the voting something. We've got people voting not enough. That's scary. That someone thinks it's not enough. I don't even know how to respond to that. But the people, us, Kelvin, as you said, us. Maybe
it's us.
Us. It's us. All right, what are you gonna do? Good Lord. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone.
We are making the virtual HBCU experience available wherever you live through Stillman Online. We offer online degrees in business, criminal justice, psychology, and religion. Stillman also offers technology badges in cybersecurity and data analytics. You can participate in all student activities, fraternities and sororities, internships, graduation ceremonies, and much more. Apply for admission today at stillman.edu. Stillman College, where we prepare you for a different world.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Tybach, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fennoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fennoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
Don't worry, Ma. We'll be there soon.
We? Is this the one?
Well, let's say I found the one who takes me to another level. Always stays calm under pressure. Most importantly, the one that helps me discover the coolest places.
This sounds wonderful.
Come outside, I'll introduce you.
They're here.
Definitely the one.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Frontier.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food? Like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell your mama hungry.
All right, welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian, Kelvin, Kofi. Want to let everybody know you can donate to the O&G Strike Zone. Be a part of what we are building, what we are doing right there. You see that little QR code on our main screen. You can go to that QR code and make a donation, contribution to the O&G Strike Zone. I also posted a link on the YouTube chat. You can also go to Twitter, O&G Strike Zone, and pinned to our profile page is also a link there to make a donation. The poll that's running right now on our Twitter feed, again, do you agree with Dr. Robinson's decision to name 18 people to a committee in search of a new athletic director, as well as is 18 people on a search committee too many, not enough, or just right? Those are just the first two polls we got up. About halfway through the show, we'll kind of let you know where we stand on the votes thus far. Appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button. You know, that's the first thing. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up there. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube page. And if you're on Facebook, go ahead and hit us up there. I know I see Chuck Hunt over there on Facebook. So anybody else watching us on our Facebook page, go ahead and hit that thumbs up as well. Shout out to a few people I'm seeing here on YouTube. Mary305, Tamara T, always there. Dim Boys, Will Davis coming in, Jay Bubba in there. Hey, I got Josh Padilla. What up, Mr. Josh? Got him in there checking out the O&G. The Blue Bloods. Blue came in. Good to see you, Blue. Blue, not Boo, but Blue. Marcus Green, our good friend, our recruiting expert, coming in, chiming in. A lot of other people. Keith Alford, Stephen Campbell in the house. Daryl Smith. We'll give everyone an opportunity to call in at the top of hour 2. Share your thoughts on what's going on. But we wanted to make sure to hit up a little bit of the roundup. You know, we talk about all things, not only athletics and culture, but also we got to make sure we give some love to our teams right now. And our baseball team is on fire. 5 wins in a row today with the 5-0 win. Was that yesterday or today? That was today.
Today. Yes,
today with the big win over Jacksonville University up in Jacksonville. The boys got a 5-0 win on the road. That's a big win. Pitcher Sean Host comes up with the win in the contest. And let's see. I'm trying to see how many innings he went. So it was one of those multi-pitcher days where he actually got the first 3, 4, 5 other pitchers came in to combine for the shutout. We only gave up 5 hits in the contest. 5 runs scored, 2 runs in the second, a run in the fourth, a run in the fifth, a run in the sixth as well. Home runs, it looks like, was hit by LJ Bryant, got a home run. And if I'm just looking here, everything else was off of singles or wild pitches. So shout out to the boys for winning their 5th in a row. And that comes on the heels of the 3-game series sweep against Mississippi Valley State, where we pretty much were putting football scores up on them, I think. 16-5 on Friday, 17-6 on Saturday, 11-6 on Sunday. And then, of course, but what we got to talk about, guys, was the bat work by none other than Mr. Ethan Jenkins, who, if I'm not mistaken, hit 5 home runs. He actually hit 5 in a row, 5 at bats. Yeah. The first game he hit 4. I believe he was 4 for 4, all home runs. And then the first at bat in the second game, which was Saturday, he hits a home run. So that's 5 straight appearances. So an awesome job. He was just named SWAC Hitter of the Week during the series. They only mentioned the first game where he hit 4 home runs and 6 RBIs. But no, in total, he had 5 home runs, 7 RBIs. For the series, he batted .600. So shout out to Ethan Jenkins. We are now with a record of 22 and 23. And what do you know, Kelvin? We got a big series coming up this weekend. What are your thoughts on our baseball guys right now?
Well, we're seem to be heading in the right direction. We're 1 game under 500. We're 1 game essentially out of first place in the SWAC East. And who do we have? The number 1 team ahead of us coming to our place for a 3-game match this weekend with Alabama State. So this is an opportunity to get over 500 as well as take first place in the SWAC East. And we only I think we have Jackson State and Bethune after this series, so we only have 6 more, total of 9 more 9 game SWAC games left. So how we finish is going to be important in terms of our seeding in the tournament.
If I go off of I'm looking at the conference schedule right now. You mentioned Alabama State is 16-4, leading the East. We are at 15-6. So that's a game and a half behind. It looks like Alabama State probably has some makeup games to play somewhere along the line, I would imagine. But Prairie View is 17-4. So, really, we're 2 games out of the number 1 overall spot. I don't think that's how the SWAC tournament does it. I think they do, East
Divisions.
1, West 1
Yeah. Right.
divisions. So, but still, if we can put it like this, if we can put the 2 of the East over there with the 1 from the West, that would be the ideal spot to be in. Not, just saying, right?
Absolutely.
Kofi, you want to jump in? Any thoughts there on baseball from what we're seeing?
Well, absolutely, man. I think that it's like I said, my thoughts are always pointing towards the tournament. And you don't want to peak too soon, but they appear to be gelling at the right time. And just like with any team, confidence is everything. So they're going to be confident going into this series against Alabama State. It's going to be a hard-fought series, and they're playing well. There's no reason why we shouldn't be in position to win it. So let's go Rattlers. Let's get this done.
Yeah, it's Friday, 5 p.m. first pitch. Saturdays, 2 p.m. Sundays, 1 p.m. The Alabama State's been a bit of a bugaboo for us this season, but we're in a good place. I think this is a much different team than we were back at the beginning of the year and even at the beginning of the conference schedule when we played these guys. So I'm really liking where we stand right now. Anything else regarding baseball that I may have failed to talk about, or before we jump over to our ladies in the softball?
No, I think we covered everything. Just make sure we have a good crowd that comes out for this weekend's matchup. I'm
Series.
not sure. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to make it because I've got another obligation. But Sunday I plan to make it to the Sunday game if nothing happens.
Right. All right. As it relates for our softball team, softball did qualify for the SWAC softball tournament, which will be held May 10th through the 13th. So that is next weekend in Gulfport, Mississippi. Regular season came to an end. Unfortunately, had a pair of losses on the last day in the doubleheader against Alabama State, 2-10 and 2-8. But we did get a win on Friday, and I think we had clinched it going into the series this weekend, didn't we? We had actually
Friday was the
clinched it.
that Friday win was the actual clincher.
Okay, good deal. That was the clincher. So if I look at our standings right now, and this is what I'll be curious to see how the SWAC decides seeding. 3 teams in the East finished with a 12-12 conference record: Jackson State, Alabama State, and FAMU. Now, if you were to go off of the way they're listed on the table on the website, which I don't know if that's the accurate. You go over to overall wins. We are 3rd in the East based on overall wins, but I don't quote me on that being accurate, and that's how they do things. You know what I'm saying? I will have to kind of look into that. Bethune-Cookman ends up winning the East. Overall conference record of 17-7. Texas Southern, who they've won 10 games in a row. Matter of fact, it's just been a murderer's row over there on the West between the top 4 teams. Texas Southern, their record is 21-3. They've won 10 in a row. Prairie View has won 5 in a row. They're 16-8 in conference. Then you have Grambling and Southern, who've won 3 and 4 respectively. They are 11-13. So, we did make the 8. We won't be the 8 or 7 seed. Who knows? We could be as high as 4 or 5. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see how it breaks down. We could be 4 or 5. Maybe we'll have some clarification for next week's show. Anything? I'm sorry.
I
Go
was
ahead,
just gonna
Kel.
say, Nah, just I hate the darn seating thing because to me it really doesn't matter all that much. I think obviously because in the tournament you have to beat everybody anyway. I think you just want to be playing your very best ball at that particular time and get it done. If we're fifth, if we're sixth, if we're third, if we're second, whoever's first, everybody's going to be motivated to kill them anyway. So it's kind of like, you know, you're there. If we're in there, I feel like our chances are good to win the tournament. We know how to play it, and Coach Shoup knows how to coach it. So, I'm looking forward to this tournament, and I like our chances, and I'm looking forward to the Rattlers bringing home this W. Let's go.
All right. All right. We should also make mention that this weekend, the SWAC Outdoor Track and Field Championships will be taking place beginning tomorrow through Sunday at Prairie View A&M Track and Field Stadium in Prairie View, Texas. It's a 3-day event. Apparently, if I saw on the SWAC website correctly, the SWAC Digital Network will be airing May 7th at 1 o'clock. I'm assuming that it was the finals. On the 7th is a Saturday. So I got to imagine that'll be probably the day for the finals. I don't know if that's men, women's, or which events. Don't quite have the full schedule here. But our men and women are traveling just to sort of, if you take a look at what we did in the indoor championships, FAMU claimed 7 podium finishes in the 2022 indoor meet. The women placed 4th overall, the men 9th. We had a young lady, Rachel Robertson, won the high jump, and Kiara Ivy won the pole vault. Robertson finished 2nd in the triple jump. In the 400, Ajani Williams finished 3rd. Jalen Scott finished 3rd in the 400 as well. Our 4x400 men's team, Jalen Scott, Ralph Goodman, Curtis Thomas, Samuel Gardner finished 3rd. So those are just some of the names to see, can they have good performances in the outdoor venue as well. And we've talked about this before. We got to get back to that point where we are the elite. And I know it's a lot of people, a lot of fast people in the SWAC, but as Kofi, you said many times, we're in Florida, right? We should be able to put up some numbers. I mean, I don't know.
So let me jump in. All right. First
Please.
we got to get a coach for both teams, right? We got to have a director of track program, and we got to have a coach. Right now, I think we've got a assistant guy who's going to be leading the team at the SWAC championships, Jonathan Butler. The coach that was there, I'm not sure what's the status with everything that came out with the whole Courtney thing and so forth. But so we got to get leadership in that area first and foremost. And but kids have been working hard. I wish them the best. I'm sure we'll get a couple of really good performances. But we just got some work to do with that particular program.
Right. And let's be clear, Jonathan Butler, because obviously mentioned in the article was another Butler who is not the coach. So we should sort of clarify that for
Correct.
people. Yeah. Anything else regarding the teams on the field of play that we should bring up? Did I miss any sports? We forget any sports?
Golf.
Golf. Yes.
Yeah.
What do you have? I mean, I can quickly go to golf unless you got it already pulled up.
They competed in the PGA tournament. It was their last tournament of the year since they didn't win the SWAC. They first day they shot pretty well, and was in third place, only four strokes behind the leader. They had the opportunity to make a move, but they didn't. The last 2 days they didn't perform as well as they did the first day, so they did opposite of what they did in the SWAC championship, and they ended up in fifth place at that minority tournament up in Philly. I think it included Division II schools and me at SWAT schools and etc. All HBCUs, but yeah, we finished fifth in that tournament, and it concluded today.
Yeah, the PGA Works Collegiate Championship in Philadelphia. So we finished fifth overall, 15 strokes behind Howard, who was in first place. Of course, Howard, that program, of course, we know kind of came about. Well, I don't know if they've always been there, but that's the program being funded by Steph Curry, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
So, but I mean, overall, when you look at the golf season, those guys have been right in that upper tier, third, fourth in many tournaments, and a lot of those guys are young. So
Freshmen.
that a lot of freshmen. So that is a positive sign for that group going into next year. They should be a favorite to finish first and second in a few races or a few contest matches going into next year. All right. Let's do this. Let's take a short break from the roundup, come back, get into some more hot topics. As we come back, we'll address some of our Rattlers who have had their opportunities in the NFL draft and the after effects of that weekend. One of our star players has put their name in the transfer portal, drawing lots of attention. And I'll be curious to find. I'll put another poll out. Why do you think that happened? That'll be the big question. I'm asking a lot of whys these days. So we want to know why did that happen? So there's a Twitter poll that'll be coming up in just a second. So you guys make sure to go check that out. So let's take a break, come back. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone. We'll be back in a moment.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
The top HBCU programs in the nation come to Montgomery, Alabama's Riverwalk Stadium this May 11th through 14th for the Black College World Series. The best Black college baseball teams in the NCAA Division II and the NAIA will battle for Black baseball's ultimate prize. Games will be streamed live at www.mybcsn.net. Tickets are available now online at www.blackcollegechampionships.com.
Bounty versus the old family dish towel. Drying with a fresh sheet of Bounty leaves your hands cleaner than a used dish towel that can carry and redistribute food residue. So ditch the dish towel for better hand hygiene. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Some carriers will give you just one measly entertainment subscription. One is no fun. With Verizon, there's up to 7 entertainment subscriptions with your unlimited plan. That's 7 times the... 7 times the... No! 7 times the... Music, gaming, Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus, and more. That's 7 times the entertainment!
Because everyone deserves better. And with plans starting at just $35, better costs less than you think.
At Tyson, we know taste is local. Some like their beef pit smoked, their chicken spiced all the way up, or their pork sweet and saucy. Local flavors, global impact. That's what feeding the world is all about.
Now, you can live in Texas and not have a good red meat blend. Texas Cowboy Dust is designed for steak and other red meats. It's out to be my most popular spice blend, made with onions, peppers, ground mushrooms, pink salt, and other spices. Texas Cowboy Dust also goes great with chicken, pork, vegetables, and adds a restaurant quality sheen to gravies and sauces.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down.
Vanilla smoked sea salt seasoning is for seafood. The tarragon and fennel bring out the natural sweetness in seafood. I also use it in rice dishes, on yams, asparagus, blueberry pancakes, and believe it or not, chocolate chip cookies. Vanilla smoked sea salt adds a salty and savory component to sweet dishes that create a symphony for the tongue.
We are making the virtual HBCU experience available wherever you live through Stillman Online. We offer online degrees in business, criminal justice, psychology, and religion. Stillman also offers technology badges in cybersecurity and data analytics. You can participate in all student activities, fraternities and sororities, internships, graduation ceremonies, and much more. Apply for admission today at stillman.edu. Stillman College, where we prepare you for a different world.
The Cuvée Group is a Florida-based marketing and training consulting firm. We help businesses communicate to their target audience and engage them in conversation. We also help to expand their audiences, which will ultimately result in growth for those organizations. In addition to being a certified constant contact specialist, my colleagues and I are also certified in John Maxwell Leadership Principles. We use these proven principles to conduct workshops, training, and private coaching sessions for individuals and companies looking to take things to the next level. Contact us to schedule a free consultation. Issues today, don't delay, call Cuvée.
Welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian, Kelvin, Kofi. Lots of good chatter on our Twitter and Facebook feeds. Got a couple of, on our YouTube and Facebook feeds. You guys on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button on that feed if you would as you're watching the show. Same thing for the folks watching us on Facebook. 2 Twitter polls that we've just put up, a couple of new polls we'll talk about here in a moment. But if you go to our Twitter feed, we've got some polls up. We'd love to hear your reaction to our polls. We asked earlier in the show as we were talking about the 18-member selection committee that Dr. Robinson has set forth to name the next university athletic director. Can you imagine if everybody comes up with a name? I just want you to think about that for a second. Anyway, do you agree with Dr. Robinson's decision to name 18 people to a committee in search of an athletic director? Simple yes or no. And then, is 18 people on a search committee, 3 options here, too many, not enough, or just right? Number 18, for me, I love the number 18. My favorite quarterback, my hometown quarterback, wore number 18.
Banana Head Peyton Manning?
Yeah, wore number 18. The sheriff wore number 18. Any significant number 18s you can think of there, Kofi?
Well, 18, I I don't know, bro. To be honest, I don't know too many athletes that had the number 18. Um, you know, let me see something real quick, but nothing really comes to mind right off key. Give me 1 second right here. But I can tell you this, 18 people is too much for that committee. I think that it's just ridiculous and absurd to have that many people that's not going to even take the time to meet. And I want to know what the timeline is going to be behind this, because that's really what's key. I don't think we should be able to go, we should go into the fall without knowing who the AD is. I think that's ridiculous.
I think the start of the new school year, which is what, July 1?
Right.
We should have a new AD in place by July 1, in my personal opinion. Kelvin, any other famous athletes you can think of that wore the number 18?
No.
No. Number 18.
The only significance with 18 is that you're able to vote.
And go off the war, apparently. You can go off the war and you can join the army and shoot a gun. Yeah.
Hey, listen. So
yes, I'm listening.
Let me give you the biblical meaning of the number 18.
Okay, let's preach. Here we go. Watch out. Let's go.
Come on, Mel.
Yes,
Mel, you got to follow this up, Mel. Go ahead.
Follow it up, Mel. Our producer.
The significance of the number 18 in the Bible, from its symbolic meaning is bondage.
Well,
I agree. After taking possession of the promised land, the children of Israel were in bondage to several nations and people before Saul was made king. Two of their enemies, the Eglon Moabite king and the Philistines, oppressed them for 18 years. God freed the Israelites from Eglon through Ehud, who would become one of Israel's
Okay.
judges.
That's good. You sounded like an omen now.
Yeah.
Bondage.
I like Mel. Hold on. I like see, I took notes. I know Mel doesn't want our producer. She was breaking us, she was educating us on the number 18 and the 1 and the 8. So I hope I don't get this too wrong. But there is some astrological and even some spiritual meaning behind it. I don't know about bondage. I don't know which book that is. Which book that came out of. Which book that come out of. There's a lot of different books in the Bible.
Exodus.
The number, I can't even do this right, Kelvin. I'm gonna mess this up. And then Mel will never talk to me.
Go ahead, mess it up, man. Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna go back to the site that I was reading though. Because I was saying, what is there a significance and meaning of the number 18? I came across something about a angel number 18. Angel number 18. I don't know what angel number 18 is. Okay. But
demonic.
The manifestation of angel number 18 promises that you are becoming more prosperous by the day and you are leading a fantastic life right now. This requires prompt and right decisions followed by necessary actions, and you should be ready to transform yourself for the new life. So I don't know. Maybe Dr. Robinson is into numbers. I don't know. Maybe he's seen something about the number 18.
Stop
and
it, Stop it, Brian.
All right, I'm sorry. What do you want? I'm just looking for meaning behind the number 18.
I want you to stop. I want you to stop with that foolishness. Talking about, stop with that.
Jeremiah Clark, I appreciate you. My early childhood favorite player, number 18, Darryl Strawberry. Thank you. So for me, 18 has some significance. I grew up a Darryl Strawberry fan. Then number 18, Sheriff Peyton Manning came to my city and led my team to a Super Bowl. So the number 18, a lot of significance for me. Again, I don't think it's right for a committee, but it's got a lot of significance in other places, though. Okay. I just thought I'd put that out there. All right. Moving on. Um, let's talk about our FAMU Rattlers that are off to the NFL over the weekend. The NFL draft took place. Only four HBCU players were actually drafted, which was, hey, look, 4 times the improvement over the last 2 years, right? There was only one player chosen in the last 2 seasons. So you had 4 players chosen, and we put it out there. We kind of thought the number might be somewhere about 4.5. So would it be over 4 or under 4? Or I should say 4.5. So either be 4 or less or 5 or more, rather. And the fifth guy that many people thought it would have been Marquise Bell, but it was not. But he did end up signing a free agent contract with the Dallas Cowboys. And Savion Williams even signed a undrafted free agent contract with the New York Jets. Forbes, I believe, got an invite, a mini camp invite to the Seahawks. And so, just to let people know the way, if you're not familiar with the process, and I got to give a shout out to BJ Jones for schooling me on this. Obviously, on our Sunday show that we do, you have the players who are drafted, who have the opportunities, the invites directly to camp. They get paid if they make the team. Blah blah blah. Then you have your undrafted free agents. Now they can sign. They're already, as long as things work out, they're a part of the preseason camp numbers with a shot to make the team, but they're receiving a salary, so on and so forth. That's where Marquise and Savion fall in. Then you have the rookie mini camp, the mini camp invites, where Keenan Forbes and maybe some other guys will get an opportunity to fall into. They get invited to try out. So essentially, even guys like Aquil Glass, a quarterback from Alabama A&M, 2-time Black College Player of the Year, he's going to the Bucks for a tryout to be on the camp, to be in mini camp. So it's like, hey, you're going into camp with a tryout opportunity. Yes. So that's how that works. So, Keenan will go to Seattle. Look, Seattle needs some offensive line help for sure. But as you look at this draft process over the weekend, what are your thoughts? We'll go Kofi first and then come to you, Kelvin. What are your thoughts, Kofi, on the draft results and the number of HBCU players? And I'll pull up those numbers while you're talking.
It was average numbers. It wasn't anything that was absolutely amazing. Obviously, being a FAMU and just disappointed that Marquise Bell didn't get drafted, but he did sign a nice contract, so from that standpoint, it's been on par with, I want to say, previous years, but I look for this number to increase in the years to come. The one that was really shocking, the one I'm waiting to sign, is Collier. Unfortunately, he hadn't signed with anybody yet, but I'm looking to see if that's going to happen, because I think that he should get an opportunity somewhere.
Go ahead, Kelvin.
I saw where I believe someone posted the Canadian draft is coming up, CFL or something soon too. So we'll probably see some more there. But in terms of the NFL draft, it was right about where I expected. The one that we didn't anticipate but should have was Marquise, and you can tell by the contract that the Dallas Cowboys gave him that they think highly of him and expect him to make the squad actually and compete. Sometimes with this whole draft process, there are things that have nothing to do with your production or your on field activities that are the difference between you getting drafted and not drafted. So, um, you know, particularly when you're not at a Power Five, so you know, I think he has a really good chance not only to make that team, but to be a contributor this year. He's that guy. He's the real deal. So I think it worked out better for him because to me, if you're not drafted like in the first 4 or 5 rounds to the team that really, have you high on a draft board, I think it's better to go be a undrafted free agent and go to a team that really wants you and fits your particular skill set. So you got a better chance. To me, you have a better chance of actually making the squad that way. So I think he landed in a real good spot. He already had went to the Cowboys prior to the draft. They invited him. So again, they gave him over 200 grand and a $15,000 signing bonus. So that tells you what they think of him. In terms of numbers overall, I think it was 20 FCS, around 20 FCS players that got drafted. 4 of them from HBCUs. You had a couple of folks that were drafted in the first couple of rounds from FCS. So you can get drafted in the first round from FCS. It's not nothing unusual or new. I do think that what it tells me is that HBCUs still have to play tougher out of conference competition, and they have to win those games. They have to be successful, and that will go a long way in helping. I think the perception of the talent that is playing and who we playing against. I don't think there's a perception about talent as much as who we playing against is the perception. So we need to tackle that so that not only do we have good players, but we beat good teams with good coaches also.
Yeah, great point. Because to add to that point about, that was one of the guys who got drafted, whether it be James Houston, Jatiri Carter, Jacoby Durant, Joshua Williams. For a couple of those guys, when they reference, those guys, they go to their performance against upper level competition. Jacoby Durant, what he did against Clemson when South Carolina State played. Jatiri Carter, in talking to Brandon BJ Jones, BJ just thought, Jatiri is just one of those dudes. He's just an offensive, just a nasty offensive lineman. He's consistent was the word he used. That he just consistently, whether it was against Troy, whether it was against what other upper level team did Southern play, or whether it was against Mississippi Valley State, he was nasty in all of those games. So he was consistent. Joshua Williams just happens to be athletically a freak at 6'2", whatever he is, and he's just one of those blessed guys. And then of course Houston came from Florida, but he had his best season with Jackson State. So, the one thing that was brought up about Bell is that he probably had a better 2019 year than 2021. And, I even had a scouts report that had Marquise ranked as the number 10 or 11 combo safety. So, I mean, we all thought highly of Marquise because we've seen it. But in terms of what the scouts were looking at from this past season, they weren't seeing the same as if he had come out in 2019, 2020, obviously. I mean, and then, so, but anyway, Bell signed a contract from the Dallas Cowboys between $200,000 and $215,000 guaranteed, with the $15,000 signing bonus. So, as you said, that's the kind of deal that, look, the Cowboys got away from not drafting him, because if they would have drafted him in the 7th round, and you can all these salaries they're on paper, so he would have made probably in the ballpark of 3-4 million over the course of 3 to 4 years. Had he had he actually been drafted? Yeah. So the Cowboys got off cheap, but for Bell, the advantage is he gets this year. It's a 1-year deal, and if he has a great year, you're able to go in and maybe negotiate a little bit more going into. So the opportunities for him are plenty. I wanted to add for you guys, because you guys brought this up, the number of players outside of the 4 HBCU players selected. 8 players were signed as undrafted free agents. That is the most since 2015 and the 4th best in the last 25 years. So progress is being made. And with the CFL draft, excuse me, with the CFL draft coming up, you have obviously the USFL, you've got another professional league. There are opportunities that are coming into play. Now, the the downside of maybe no FAMU players being drafted on Monday was the last day that the transfer portal was open to athletes, student athletes, for them to be eligible for the fall season. And of course, actually unexpected, I shouldn't say of course, but unexpectedly, Isaiah Land put his name in the transfer portal. And for many people, it was shocking, to say the least, because of the fact that I think this had already been flirted about before, had it not? Wasn't there already a previous flirtation with the transfer portal that Land had said no?
Well, back in December, there was some coaches that associated with him from back in Georgia that were reaching out to him on behalf of somebody to get him to transfer from FAMU. And at that time, and he made a statement because it was kind of running in some circles that he loved FAMU, and FAMU gave him the opportunity and made him what he is. So he was committed to Rattler Nation. So now I don't blame the young man. I knew that Pandora's box would open once he put his name in that hat. 6'4" edge rushers who got 20 some tackles for losses and about 20 sacks in one season, and did it against some FBS competition also. In a season like this, with the transfer portal, you're gonna be in demand. And I looked at something that was posted, right, about who's reached out and offered since his name been put in there: Auburn, Kentucky, Georgia, LSU, Texas, Memphis, UCF. This is something that supposedly is on his IG about offers he's getting. So my only comment is, we love you, we appreciate you. You're a Rattler always. Come on home if that's your decision. But I do understand.
Yeah.
You know
So
what
on
those
Twitter,
names
we got a
mean.
couple. Yeah, we got. You can go to Twitter, twitter.com/O&G Strike Zone. Got a couple of other polls up for you. You guys who are watching us, why do you think Isaiah Land entered his name into the transfer portal? 3 choices there: FBS opportunities with a Power 5. Could it be that fact that no FAMU players drafted? Or how about just flat out the NIL money from FBS? I mean, there's the story about the kid from Pitt who was his quarterback. His quarterback from Pitt got drafted, right? In the first round. He's supposed to be the best player, best receiver, and he's off. He's going up to USC. I think he's transferring to USC, supposedly based off a lot of NIL money. So let's not put it past these Power 5 schools who have their stuff together as it relates to this NIL and these collectives and such. And there might be some deals out there for Isaiah. And then flat out with another poll, will Isaiah Land return to FAMU? Yes, no. Flat out. You let us know. You think he's coming back? He said he will not go to another FCS or HBCU. So if he's coming back, he's coming back to FAMU, not transferring to another HBCU. But of course, when you make that statement, it just opens the door and says, well, we're competing with 130 other schools. on the FBS level. What are your thoughts on Isaiah Land Kofi and his future?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be selfish. I was disappointed. And for me, with all of the statements and the things that he put out there in regards in support, he's been one of FAMU's biggest advocates, the program's biggest advocates. And so to turn around and then have this happen, I was kind of caught off guard by it. But I'm not totally shocked, just understanding the nature of the business, especially, after Marquise did not get drafted. It made it seem like anybody with the University of Georgia logo, basically that played defense, got drafted. Like just about all their guys, the backups, the starters, the third team. If you had a G on your helmet,
even the guys who transferred, like the guy from
Yeah.
from Florida State who came from Georgia. Yeah.
Right. So, you have that legacy and stuff, but he has an opportunity to make history at Florida A&M University as well. So, if you're good enough, they're going to come looking for you. Just like the other schools are coming to look for you, the NFL teams are going to come look for you, and then you can go out there and make your money. I'm praying that he comes back, because I mean, the things that I saw in the spring was that this defense that FAMU has is going to be even more explosive, and that was without Isaiah Land out there. That was without, I think, what's her name, Jenna Hunt out there as well. So we were missing some people, and the defense just looked way faster, and that was even without some of the transfers that are coming in. So, whoo. This is going to be an amazing year for our defense. This would be great for him to come on back and finish it up. And the other thing is that there's no guarantees. Even if you go to these other schools, there's no guarantees that the playing time is going to be there, and just so many other little factors. Even if you stay at FAM, it's no guarantee. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to play your cards right and make it happen.
Well, Brian, just
Go ahead.
real quick to piggyback off what Kobe is mentioning, there is risk involved in deciding if he did decide to go elsewhere. You gotta have the right fit. You don't know if you're gonna be featured. You got to worry about the schemes and so forth. The supposedly increase in talent level. Will you be as competitive? And will you be, at FAMU? He knows he's going to be featured. He knows the scheme is going to be there. He's going to have an opportunity to put up big numbers, and we have a pretty competitive schedule. You starting off the season with University of North Carolina and which is a FBS program in ACC Power 5, and then you got right there Jackson State. So for him to be featured, he don't have to go anywhere. To me, what it really comes down to probably is going to be what kind of money been thrown at him. Being honest,
it's amazing. Isaiah Land. I'm just looking at he was as I hate to say this. We all know his story. He was not a star guy coming out of high school at Grayson High School. Okay. I mean, one of probably one of the greatest finds by Coach Simmons was bringing Isaiah Land into FAMU, right, and seeing their potential. And now I look at the on3.com transfer database. Isaiah Land listed as #1 edge rusher, 4-star rating, 95. I mean, that's what he did at FAMU. You know what I'm saying? You mean that? I agree with Dion. You mean to tell me you're not going to get drafted? I know the money. I don't look. They haven't. I don't see he has. Look, there's an NIL value column. When have you seen that? There's an NIL value column. The guy behind him made $29K. The guy behind that guy, Jared Ivey, who used to be at Georgia Tech, he made $15K. There are guys on this list making 37, 27. I'm just going off numbers. 20,000. What are we talking about? So, yeah, I understand why Isaiah Land might be putting his name in the portal and seeing there's no number here next to his name. But, I mean, look, if the guy behind you ranked number 2, he just put his name in the portal and jumped to number 1. What's his value worth? And Georgia now, Georgia, a team that didn't want him, I hate to say it that way. Maybe they did. I don't know. But he didn't go there. Georgia didn't see him. And I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot to put these kids in. I mean, look, I love the freedom and the empowerment that they have. It is free agency. But we've got to – it just means that HBCUs, FAMU, we got a lot of problems in a lot of places, but it's about time to start. Do we need – I'm going to say this and I'm going to get out, and we're going to go to break. I saw a school, and I tweeted this to you guys. I don't know if you saw the video. I'm not going to name the school. If you saw the video from a collective that was started to primarily focus on their basketball players at a school that has a lot of pride in their basketball. They haven't won a national championship in about 30 years. And they are creating a NIL collective basically on YouTube, Twitter, wherever they can get a video feed, letting people know that, hey, our collective, we want to connect you boosters, you alumni with businesses, so that way we can bring in money to help us compete with Kansas, Kentucky, whoever else is out there throwing money and cash around left and right to get the top name guys, because we got to get back to the top, and because that's what it is today. So where do you want to be? What side of history right now do you want to be on? Do you want to watch and just hope that, the loyalty and love is going to keep kids? Or do we want to get to the point of really being a part of the game that's being played?
Would you put some soap in our bathroom?
Let's take a break, open up the phone lines, hear your guys' thoughts on these topics and anything you want to tell us about. Go to Twitter, O&G Strike Zone. Let us know your votes, or vote on those Twitter polls. We'll give you some results coming up on the other half. We'll drop the number here as soon as we come out of the break. Stay tuned. 2 minutes. We got phone calls. We want to hear from you, Rattler Nation. Let us know what you think. You're watching the O&G Strike Zone. We'll be back in just a moment.
Are you ready? It's time. The inaugural Urban NerdCon is coming to Montgomery, Alabama, July 29th through the 31st. Blurs, nerds, and geeks from across the universe will converge on the capital city to see celebrity guests such as The Last Dragon, Tybok, Megan Tandy, and voice actor Dave Fanoy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm voice actor Dave Fanoy with a shout out to all my geeks, freaks, and urban nerds. Just want to let you know I'm going to be there, and I want to meet you at the Urban NerdCon Gaming and Cosplay event. It's happening July 29th through the 31st in Montgomery, Alabama. Hope you want to meet me as much as I want to meet you.
So join us by visiting theurbannerdcon.net for ticket and vendor information. This will be the premier blurred event in the universe. Theurbannerdcon.net. Our heroes, our villains, our stories, everyone's con. See you there.
Don't worry, Ma. We'll be there soon.
We? Is this the one?
Well, let's say I found the one who takes me to another level. Always stays calm under pressure. Most importantly, the one that helps me discover the coolest places.
This sounds wonderful.
Come outside, I'll introduce you.
They're here.
Definitely the one.
Introducing the all-new Nissan Frontier.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
Oh, we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131.
Tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisines.
Open up the door, tell them mama hungry.
If you think all pads are exactly the same, think again. This is Always Ultra Thins reinvented with the Always Triple Protection System. This pad wicks gushes 90% faster, absorbs even more so you can feel dry, and locks odors in. Rethink your pad for up to 100% leak-free and odor-free comfort with the totally reinvented Always Ultra Thins. This is always like never before.
Woo-wee. Welcome back to the O&G Strike Zone. Brian, Kelvin, Kofi. I want to thank you guys for watching us on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure to get those likes up, get the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the page there on our Facebook and JBM page. Also, make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Got some Twitter polls for you. So if you go to our page, you can also take part in our Twitter poll. Got 4 of them up there, so we want to hear from you. And also, we are taking donations now. You can donate to the O&G Strike Zone. That QR code, it should work. Now, if it doesn't scan, I'm not going to take the blame for that. We're going to blame technology. But you can get the link to donate if you go to our Twitter page and look right at the top, the pinned tweet of on our profile page is the way you can donate. I will make sure to share that again on Facebook and however ways, and we'll try to figure out a nice, clean way to make your donation if you'd like to. Again, we've already had a few people donate to the show. Very appreciative of your donations to what we do here. All right, let's open up the phone lines. Here's the phone number. Again, call in, get your comments in, let us know where you're calling from. Give us your name, give us your thought. Don't take forever. If you got a direct question, feel free to ask it, and we'll do the best we can. The number right there, 678-383-7623. Again, 678-383-7623. There's only one line, so if you call and it's busy, well, it's busy. There's no like 5 lines on deck, and so if it's busy, that means a lot of people are trying to call in, which is a good thing for us. That means you guys are out there paying attention and you're watching the show, and we appreciate that. So go ahead and get those numbers in. We want to hear from you, Rattler Nation. Of course, you can also continue to stay in the conversation on our Twitter and Facebook feeds as well. Good conversations going on there in the chat rooms for our pages. Let's see. I see Lori Wilson in there. Rattler Nation's in there. G-Dub. Marcus Green still holding it down, carrying on the conversations with people.
In the meantime,
Russell Hayes, Jeffrey Rumlin, Derek White, Any other names I'm coming across here? Some people that we already mentioned previously. We want to hear from you. Any, and while we wait on the phone lines to open up, let's kind of swing it forward, gentlemen, as we look at this NIL issue. Let's call it a topic. I don't think it's an issue, but let's call it a topic. How do we get to a place where we can create that opportunity for student athletes through a collective? What are your thoughts there?
Hello.
Hello.
Someone just dialed in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't hear the phone ring. All right, caller, how you doing? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
We can't hear
Yes.
you. We can't hear you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Marcus.
Dwayne from Jacksonville.
Let's go, Dwayne.
So you
All
said,
right, Dwayne.
hey,
What's up, sweet?
hey guys, how y'all doing? What's happening?
All right.
Good.
Hey, the beat, y'all, Brian, you said you want to make it real quick, so I'll try to make it quick. Two things, right? The NIL deals. We can't compete with like the Division I teams, right? The SECs, the ACCs. I want to say University of Florida. They have a club they're starting, and they're going to have like to get in this club, you're going to have to put $1 million in or something. So we're not going to compete with those cats. So, so I don't know how it's going to work for us. I've always been leery of this NIL thing, and I just thought this was a way for the big teams to really separate themselves from us, even the lower Division I teams, because they have the money to do it. But then two, and I'll just take you guys' comments on it. The land thing, like I want to say Mr. Campbell was saying earlier, we kind of help build him. Like they say, well, no one was kind of looking for him coming out of high school, and we kind of helped build him. And then, like I put in the comments, it's kind of like the boomerang thing or the wait and exhale thing, where we help build you, and then all of a sudden, after you get built, we're not good enough for you. So I kind of took that a little, I didn't take it well. But hey, that's me, and maybe I'm just looking at it wrong, and you guys have a different opinion on it. Enjoy the show, and if you guys can put the link in to make the donation, put the link in here so we won't have to go around finding it. If you put it in here, I know I'll donate, probably other people too. You guys do a great job. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Let me say this. When I say I know we can't compete per se with Power Fives, but I don't think we have to compete with them on a dollar by dollar basis. When you have no money, some money is better than no money.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Finish that thought, Kelvin. Hey, we got another caller. Caller, hold tight just a second. Finish that thought, Kelvin. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah. We're not able to compete in terms of finances with the SEC, but neither can the Group of Five teams either. But we do have some things at HBCUs that are unique to HBCUs that are attractive. As Isaiah stated, his experience at FAMU has been wonderful. He loves the university. He loves the fan base. And he was able to grow and develop, not just as a player, but as a person, right? The culture, just so many things that are unique to HBCUs. So we have to continue to elevate those things, but also let's be real. Let's be real now. We have to have some kind of way of being able to support our athletes in terms of money wise. But it don't. But I agree with you. It doesn't have to be dollar for dollar.
Kofi, hold your thought for a second. Let's figure out who we got on the line. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Mr. Ford from Atlanta. How you doing?
How you doing? Well, Mr. Ford.
Hey, how's it going, Kofi?
How's it going, sir?
All right. Listen, tell you like they used to tell us in South Georgia, one monkey don't stop no show. The only reason some of y'all worried about this land kid is because you don't know what fam you got on that roster and you don't know what's coming in. I'm going to be honest with you. It's his loss.
Preach.
Preach. I think that FAMU is in for a historic year this year. And too bad he going to miss out. If he leaves, he misses out. But I'm just going to say it again, baby. FAMU got some stuff coming in this summer, coming in as we speak, that's ready to play. They got some boys. Y'all got to remember, you know this, the last 2-3 years, even before Dion went to Jackson State, FAMU had one of the best recruiting classes in FCS. Them kids are ready to play. So I'm going to say it again. One monkey don't stop no show, baby. If he leaves, I'm happy for him because FAMU going to be all right. That's a young boy. I think he was 21, 22 years old. Let us remember, FAMU was started, 1895? When was FAMU started?
1887.
Huh?
October 3rd, 1887.
1887.
What?
Okay. So, FAMU going to be all right, and he going to be all right, too. Y'all have a good night now. Okay.
All right now.
How about Mr. Ford?
See, respecting that's knowledge. He's right.
He told no lies. We are stacked. And we have guys in the wings that waiting for the opportunity. Got same measurables. Just hadn't had the opportunity yet. You heard Coach Smitty Rock when he was on our show talk about how he schemed the defense to maximize the players' talents and where they could play fast, so they didn't have to do much thinking. And so no, I don't want Isaiah to go. Let me be clear. I like him on our squad. But if she should make that decision and he feel like I personally don't hold anything against him. I mean, if I was 19, 20, man, and somebody offered 6 figures to me to come play for them for 1 year, hey, I mean, I ain't gonna be no hypocrite. Hell, I probably would have. I would have probably took it too. So I don't fault him about thinking he too good and all that. I don't get into all that, man. The man will put in his work. He, yes, fam, you gave him an opportunity, but when he got here, he did something with that opportunity. He put in the work, right? And he performed.
Hello?
So show, so I got to give him credit for that. And whatever he do, like he say, this train gonna keep on rolling, baby.
Yes, indeed. We got a caller on the line. I don't know why. Sometimes we hear the phone,
Hello.
sometimes we don't. Caller, how we doing? What's your name? Where you calling from?
You okay?
It's Marcus from Wilmington.
What's up, Marcus G?
Yeah.
Marcus.
Yeah, I've been watching the show, throwing my little comments. So I got a wide range of things. But first thing, like Kofi said, like we talked about, no reason we shouldn't already have a short list. Because we know that, I mean, if it's already been written on the wall that Gaucher wasn't coming back, then he should have been had a short list. And it comes back to also what we talked about before offline is like, okay, if we're going to put ourselves in this position, and we know we got a young, ambitious AD, we got a young, ambitious coach who's already been floated around twice, with rumors of FBS offers at coordinator level, or at least position coaches. We need to be what we call cradle coaches, a launching pad. Just embrace it like some of the group of 5 teams and have a short list ready for anybody that leaves. And it shows a lack of preparedness that we don't for every position. And it actually also goes the same for Zay. But you already know that we have some people coming in, and there's a couple of names of the roster that we recruited a couple of years ago, like Kelvin just alluded to, that have same measurable, same physical, and I think they're going through the same development program that's waiting for a chance. So it's just a matter of getting done. So whether it's a player, whether it's AD, whether it's a head coach, whether it's the president, there needs to be a short list had by somebody. So we're not creating a committee of 300 trying to figure out what we're going to do next.
Yeah, I mean, good point there. I mean, and the thing that I'm trying to figure out, I haven't seen that Isaiah Land has graduated. I guess, you know what, I'll be honest. Maybe I might feel differently if, I know he's a redshirt senior. If he was already a FAMU graduate, he may be. I don't think he is, though. I don't think he's officially a graduate yet. If anybody has seen differently, you tell me. But had he already graduated, I'd agree with you. I'd be, I would be with that crowd that say, okay, man, bye. Hey, man, all the best to you. I would pump the brakes and say, yo, man, finish your degree. Be a part of this alumni base. After you go on and do whatever you're gonna do wherever else, but get your degree from FAMU, who put you on the map, so to speak. But then again,
and for
I
all
heard
we
this
know,
before.
there's a lot of speculation. We don't know, his pure motivation. We can speculate it's all the NIL money thrown at him, but we don't know. Because he hasn't said anything publicly, and for all we know, we don't know his level of progression towards the degree. He could finish this summer, and he might just be saying, "Okay, I'm putting my name in the hat, and I'm just going to see what they're talking about, and I can get some visits this summer. Might come back to FAM, might take it somewhere else, but he's giving himself a shot for his last year, at least to see what's out there, see what his marketability is."
I know he's not saying anything, Marcus, but I mean, I would shade 90%, almost minus 500, that there are some outside influences, and especially with look at the money that's being look at the money that's being thrown around to pull guys. You've even got the big name, even the people with the money are complaining about the money that's being thrown around. Ain't that crazy? You got people like Nick Saban, who has the money, and they're making laws in Alabama to prevent people from not we talked about this, didn't we? The laws in Alabama they're setting up laws to make it illegal, so you can't shut down NIL. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And he's telling you.
Yeah, and down at Miami, they're passing out cars like it's lollipops at the dentist in your office. It's like everybody's getting a car.
Hey, reality check. This ain't nothing new. Why y'all ain't this brand new? Why y'all ain't surprised? This stuff been going on. I can tell you when I was in school, I had friends who played across the tracks, and they were getting credit cards and all kind of stuff back then. So I mean, it's just it's just not undercover no more, and I'm for it, man. It is what it is.
Oh yeah, I'm not against it because his marketability is at an all-time high.
But I do want us to get on the level and start to do something. I think we have the ability to do something. We have a large enough alumni base. We have alums that are able to that just paid for 1,300 students tuition. Well, if I'm not mistaken, correct? We just had alums that paid almost $1.2 million for students to graduate. Clean their bill. Took their debt away. So we have that type of financial base. Now, whether we're tapping into it, which we may not be, we should be, we could be. So every little bit will help. And that's just how the game is being played. As much as we need to improve facilities, yes, we need to improve facilities. We also need to find ways to continue to supplement that. If we're not going to get the budget that we need, then we've got to find other ways to supplement that budget that we need by getting the athletes to come at some. Like I said, we got a lot of positive things at FAMU, a lot of reasons, but Steve asked us a tax
It goes
write-off.
back to what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and I'll get off after this, is that, we can't, based on Coach Simmons' post, a couple of weeks ago about holding your checkbooks and not making a rash decision. If we do that, then athletic's going to die on the vine. So we can't hold the AD Gaucher thing. We can't hold something that happened, I don't know, back when Gaither was living. You know, you can't do that stuff and expect the program to progress. Not saying you got to bypass it, but if you're donating your money, you got to demand, okay, what's going to clean up the mess, but you have to help with the cleanup process versus wait until it's finished.
Well, let me say this. This is an election year, and the NAA, National Alumni Association National Meeting, is on the highest of Seven Hills. So this is an opportunity to bring all of the great minds, all of the Rattler celebrities, all of the big wheels, bring everybody together. And it should be a topic that we don't leave June 1st through the 5th without having a NIL collective already in place. That's something. It's too many people. I mean, you look at the economic impact that we have in one weekend on homecoming or Florida Classic weekend, and it's astronomical. It's just about somebody taking the initiative to lead it and follow through so that we can get this done. The money is there. The resources are there. But somebody has to take the initiative to say, let's put together a think tank. Let's think about how we can take it to the next dimension and level, and let's get it done. I mean, we've got people and all kinds of great individuals that can pull together these resources and do this for our athletes.
Marcus, next time Marcus, I'm gonna have to make sure to give you the link. You know, you should have just been on the show. We should have just given you the dial-in link so you can tune in. Marcus, we love you, man. You holding up the phone line. You could have been on the show. we got a phone. We got a number expressly for Marcus. Anytime he want to be a part of the show, we have an extension just for you, Marcus. Hey, one of the things I just saw, Stephen Campbell asked, is this a tax write-off? No, this is not a tax write-off. This is a business. So in my understanding is NIL, you as a business, let's say Steve's Car Wash. Well, if Steve's Car Wash wants to hire 3 FAMU players, football players at, I don't know, $5,000 a pop to promote car washes through the semester, well, that's a contract that's being paid between you and the student athlete. You would issue them a 1099, and they would have to fill out what? Tax papers. Now, that's me unofficially, what little bit I know thus far. So, you know, this is not a tax write-off for boosters. But I'm sure there are write-offs out there, I'm sure.
Still figuring it out.
Kenya pointed out. What'd you
I was
say,
just
Kelvin?
saying. I was just saying that people are still defining the rules and so forth. So it's a lot of unknowns out there right now. It's kind of the wild, wild west right now. You got different rules, regulations. The NCAA is not regulating. States got different things going on. So it's going to take a year or two for everything to kind of settle into a normal.
And I think we ought to be a part of that. While it's chaotic, be a part of it now as much as you can. Yeah. Caller, you're on the line. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good evening. I am Lori Wilson.
Hey,
and I'm calling from. Hey. Well, I'm hoping that we can have a honest conversation here, because I've been watching you all, and my thing with this whole thing is that what needs to be addressed at FAMU, we really need to really address it, because there hasn't been a consistent problem. And when I was let me just say, full disclaimer, I am a Humphreys Rattler, okay? So I was under Frederick Humphreys. I went to FAMU in 1983. I was a pre-med major. Jones Hall was I always hung out at. And I know, and then I went on to medical school at Meharry Medical College in Nashville, Tennessee. So I know that when you have a cancer and it starts in one place, you have to make sure that you get treatment so it does not metastasize to other places of the body. Okay? I think it's egregious for people to get on here and ask alumni to keep throwing money at dysfunction. How in the world are we having an AD since 2004, about 1880s? And I think that's just ridiculous. I think it's unfair to let alumni keep telling us to send money to, like, money is going to correct this dysfunction. And we have to look within ourselves and really try to make sure that we finally get rid of this cancer that's at FAMU. It don't make no sense to me. And then for us to get up here and act like, everything is so wonderful. Listen, I love coming to the game. I love hanging out with all the alumni, but I'm concerned about the school because I know what it did for me. And the fact is, we have a consistent problem. We don't have a person that has vision. When we have somebody have vision, y'all didn't like her. And sometimes I think we have like some type of misogynistic things that are going on underlining, because she was an outsider, yeah, but she was trying to get rid of some of that stuff at FAMU that we need to get rid of. I mean, hell, I experienced it when I was at FAM, when we used to go to the financial aid and trying to get financial aid money, and people treated us like, well, what you here for? You wouldn't even have a job if we didn't have students there at FAM. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a consistent problem at FAMU that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be eradicated. And I'm sorry, Larry is not the one to do that. Okay? Yeah. So we need to see where we can get somebody that has vision, like President Humphreys. And I know y'all get tired of me saying that, but that man raised us.
Nope.
He made me see
we're Humphreys
what it was
We're all
like
Humphreys Rattlers.
to be a
All
Rattler.
three of us. That's right.
And listen, I'm holding my money until I can see some change there. I gave a little bit, but not the money I was prepared to give to FAMU. And it's not just me. It's a lot of other Rattlers that I know that we went through FAMU together. They got plenty of money, more money than I got. And they holding it too, because we are disappointed on what is going on. Listen, I don't know what was going on with Courtney Gaucher, but I know one thing. He turned that athletic department around. Okay? He turned it around, and whatever he was doing, okay, I don't have to know the details, but we need somebody who has vision like that. And all this stuff is going on. I'm sorry, y'all. It's embarrassing to me. Because I'm out here always supporting FAMU 24/7. And now we got this stuff going on. We can't just gloss over it like, it's not, oh, well, let's talk about something else. No, we have a consistent problem at FAMU that needs to be taken care of. And we don't need people who want to punk out, who don't want to get this stuff straight. We need somebody to come in there and just get rid of this, fire every last one of them. And, and listen, the reason why I love FAMU so much is because my whole family went there. I remember my grandfather, according to my mother, sold a cow back in the day. We're from Mariana, Jackson County, so my uncle could attend FAMU. FAMU has a great history, and we need to remember that, and we need to get rid of this stuff so we can go ahead and be great FAMC, FAMU, everything that we used to be. And I'm sorry, I'm not sending my money until I see some change or what's going on. And I encourage all the other alumni to send like I did, like half the money you was going to send, and then you wait until you see some change, because FAMU gonna get the money now. They're gonna get my money because that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send it.
So Doc. So I don't know if you caught the beginning of the show, but I would suggest, people do what they want with their money. I'm okay with it either way, but waiting for FAMU to correct FAMU is what got us in this situation. We need people like yourselves to not just send your money, but you know, demand answers. Be a part of the structure. That you brought up some great comments, some great points. We need that kind of energy in as a mass group, a part of the different organizations that try to push what you're saying, because vision is definitely lacking at all levels, and we definitely need that. But I don't know if just holding your money and waiting going to change our situation. So I don't want us to just think it ain't about just money. It's about our time and our energy too.
Yeah, I understand that, but let me tell you this. FAMU should be on the track of having its own medical and dental school, right?
Yes.
Xavier's
Yes.
doing it. So why hasn't FAMU got to that point where they can have their own medical and dental school right there in Florida and be able to develop this? There's a lot of stuff that is going on that we need to get on top of, and if athletic department shows us some of the dysfunction that is going on at FAMU. And I'm just going to be honest with you. Like I said, you know, we have history, and I'm from Jackson County, and my family has history with FAM. And that's why we're not going to never turn our back on that school, because we remember it gave us an opportunity trajectory to where we are now. My sister is an attorney because of FAMU. She went to a white law school, but her undergrad was at FAM. So it helped our family change our whole trajectory in regards to economics. And we're able to have this money now because of FAMU. But I'll be doggone if I'm going to throw my money at dysfunction. I'm not going to do that, sir. But I tell you one thing, I'm going to put it aside somewhere. And when I start seeing some change, I'm going to send it. So, so all I'm saying is that we have to be conscious of how the alumni are feeling, and not just me. You know, that's saying this. Some of my colleagues that went through FAM and who are doctors now, we just had a conversation the other day, and I know these people are millionaires, and they said, yeah, we're going to hold our money a little bit so we can find out what's going on. So it wasn't a good thing what happened with Courtney. It should have been handled a whole different kind of way. And it wasn't. And now we're gonna have to suffer the consequences. As my grandma used to always say, sometimes the good got to suffer with the bad. Okay? Mm-hmm. And so that's what's gonna happen. The good gonna have to suffer with the bad until we can figure out what's going on with FAMU, who I love and who I've written into my will and everything. That's how much I love. I'm gonna tell you, we love that school. And that's what we want to fight for, and we're not going to let this stuff happen, continue to happen, and keep throwing money at it thinking it's going to be okay. And so that's why I wanted to call in and tell y'all tonight, because my head was hurting. Sometimes y'all make somebody's head hurt.
Hey, that's family.
It's because we care. You know, we have a group of people. Rattler Nation cares. But at this time, it's important for us to get organized so that we can confront the things that need to be confronted. Nothing changes without confrontation, you know. And at this point, I'm at my wit's end concerning Dr. Larry Robinson. I think that his time is just up. But but there's so much at stake. There's Dr. Robinson. There's the Board of Governors. There's the Board of Trustees. There's FAMU athletics, all of these things that have to be addressed, even when it comes down to the medical school. Because then if you get Dr. Robinson out, we have to be prepared with who's going to fill that seat, who is next. So, having that contingency plan already in place is necessary because, again, here's the thing, and this is why I'm so adamant about this level of communication at this time. Blockbuster was once an epic and iconic company. Everybody was looking at Blockbuster. There wasn't a Friday night that I couldn't see somebody that I knew at the Blockbuster, getting a video, renting a video, doing all those different things. Well, guess what? Blockbuster didn't have an eye on the future and the trends that were changing.
Right.
And as a consequence, they are now obsolete. They're not in existence because they did not have an eye on the future. The MEAC was a thriving conference at one time. And now it's on the verge of a possible disbandment. I pray it doesn't happen. I hope that they have enough leadership and communication that they don't disband, but they're in this position right now because they had leadership that did not have an eye on the future. Without a vision, without a revelation, without that measure of creativity, the people and everything under you will perish. And so this is why we've got to be involved and create the FAMU that we want.
Yes.
The FAMU that we want. We want a dental school. We want a medical school. Now, who the next person that's up, we need you to sign on with this or you can't be our president.
Right.
We need to know that you're going to fight for us. You know, y'all are down there with the board of governors. We complain about everything in regards to the admission and the enrollment. You know, hey, you know, guys, why y'all stifling us? You know, let's talk about this. Let's confront this because this system is not benefiting our beloved school. So either y'all gonna do what we need you to do, or we gonna find a way to get you out of there and do what we need to do on our own. You know, but it takes a courageous and I want to say a determined spirit to go in. And this is a part of our DNA because the alma mater says that we fight and win whatever the battle be. Right now, there's so much at stake that we are literally fighting for the life of Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University. And this is why we cannot be silent. This is why we cannot shut up. This is why Dr. Robinson has to be held accountable. This is why the Board of Trustees and Kevin Lawson and them bringing Gaucher up there without his qualifications, even though he did some great things. Again, he has to be held accountable. Everybody that has something to do with it. Again, but now, where are we going? Where are we now? Where are we going? How are we going to get there? Give us vision. Give us vision so that we can secure the destiny of our beloved school.
Well said. Any final thoughts, Dr. Wilson, that you'd like to share?
No. I just I'm so glad that I'm going to be sharing your program with other people, and I'm so glad I was able to come Carl and talk to you all tonight. Kofi is my guy. I love listening to him. I actually, when I was at FAMU, his father taught Black psychology, and I remember him back. So I'm real old school, but I just respect him and his thoughts and everything. But thank y'all, and like I said, I'm gonna keep listening to you.
Thanks,
Doc. I'm gonna try to come every week and listen to y'all. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Doc.
Hey.
All right. All right.
How many more calls we got?
No, that's it. That was it. We got to end it there with that was a good one there from Dr. Wilson.
Yes, it was.
That brings me back to as we get ready to wrap up the show, that thought that we have said many a times, that vote of no confidence, that communication. We have to go ask the why. We have to continue to go to the board of governors. We have to go to our alumni, national alumni, whoever becomes the new national alumni president. They have to be behind a vote of no confidence in Dr. Robinson. Our foundation president, even though they may be on this committee, this 18-team member committee thing, we need the FAMU Foundation. We need the FAMU Foundation behind a vote. We need more than a 3-minute and 56-second speech in front of a club for lunch. We need more than that. Yeah. That was embarrassing. It was ridiculous. Coming to show because he's on another call and showing up to do us a favor, ridiculous. That was embarrassing. And for him to leave, the first statement that we've heard in the past 2 weeks was 3 minutes and 55 seconds. Utterly embarrassing.
Go
And
ahead
the more and
on,
more I think
Brian.
about it,
Get
I
at
get
it.
pissed off thinking about it, the more and more. Because yes, we can continue to say he's a nice man. But at some point, as you've all said, and we've all said, you need somebody that's willing to fight. You've all said it. We've all said it. There are enough.
Yeah.
Dr. Wilson, but between that network of people that she knows, that's change that's financial avenues that could be changing FAMU. Those are
Right.
donors that could be changing FAMU.
NIL opportunities, just yeah.
Changing FAMU all day from so many different levels.
Yeah.
And if that group is holding back half, there are other groups who are holding back more. It's got to change. It's got to change, folks, and we
But
have
it
to.
changed.
We
But
have to do.
yeah, Brian. But as COVID pointed out, and I want to end my comment on this: the change gonna come from us people, not from somebody president that you elect, or whether it be NAA or whether it be the president of the university or the board chair. Those folks who have those titles don't necessarily have vision, right? We're in a political state, and the people who make decisions in terms of who lead the board of governors, board of trustees, they ain't necessarily rattlers, you know. And
Yep.
so what I'm saying is, if we won't change, then we're gonna have to come like as the former congressman used to say, we're gonna have to start some good trouble. And that's what we
Yes.
haven't been willing to
Yes.
do. We have
Yep.
not been willing to start good trouble within our own ranks at our university with our leaderships. And that's what it's gonna take. All right.
You said right there a mouthful, because I keep going back to how do we get it started? How do we get it started? But like you just said, that's how it has to happen. It's not going to happen. Go ahead, Kofi. Go ahead, Kofi. Nope, mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
All right, hold on a minute.
Test one.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. Now,
yeah.
Yes, got
All
you.
right.
Go ahead.
So you can't change, again, what you don't confront. You can't confront what you don't identify. All right. So it just begins with identifying the problem. Okay. We have to confront it. We have to identify it. And then after you identify it, you have to be able to stick around for the solution. It does not do us any good to just point out what the problem is. It's just like, Dr. Lori Wilson was talking about identifying, okay, so you got the cancer. Now, what's the prescription? What are we going to do about it? Okay. What are we going to do? How are we going to confront it? How are we going to deal with this? What is the solution for this? And so this is just some things that we've got a lot on the table. It's not just any one thing. There's layers and layers and layers of stuff that needs to be confronted, needs to be identified, but we have the ingenuity, we have the intelligence, we have the resources to confront it and send FAMU where it needs to be, to the very top. So at the end of the day, there's no excuses. We're not going to give one another excuses. Let's hold one another accountable. And it starts now. Let's go. Let's get this done. And it goes more than just me saying, okay, fire Larry Robinson, get him out of here. No. It takes us saying, here is the list of issues that we need to deal with. Okay, these are the things that are priority regarding FAMU. All right, and then once we identify those things, we get our list. Now it's time to say, okay, let's do it. Because we've been talking about a lawsuit regarding the state of Florida for the longest. We've been talking about this capital campaign for the longest. We've been talking about confronting the board of governors for the longest, and nothing has been done. So it's just time for us to hold one another accountable, holding one another feet to the fire until we get the right kind of movement to be the school and the university that we're called to be. Let's go.
Where'd that nearly $100 million from the White House go? I'm just asking.
Let's ask Larry Robinson. Let me say this so we can get out of here, okay?
Yes,
Morehouse's
go ahead.
president Morehouse's president was not even somebody that their alumni wanted because he went to Yale. Everybody was just sitting there like, oh, we don't need this dude coming from Yale trying to come and run this HBCU and do X, Y, and Z. Well, guess what? He got the job, and this guy is on the cusp of raising $500 million for Morehouse.
Wow.
$500 million. He's been able to go into these companies and tap into, I want to say, the white guilt, so to speak, after Ahmaud Arbery and the other things that have been happening. I want to say George Floyd, all of those things. He's been able to tap into that and get the money. You know, again, we've got to make a list of the type of president we want, the AD we want, the leadership we want, the governor we want. We got to do everything that we can, especially at this time, to turn the state of Florida blue. We cannot afford to stay red. We can't afford another 4 years of looking over our shoulder, wondering what's going to happen next with DeSantis in office. We've got to find our battle cry and be strategic about what needs to happen next. And I'm done.
Send us an email, ongstrikezone@gmail.com, if you want to be part of the solution. You have some ideas and thoughts that you want to share. We've got the platform along with the Black College Sports Network and Jericho Broadcasting that we are a part of. We care about FAMU. We want FAMU to be better. A few Twitter poll results from you guys who have been voting all day. Do you agree with Dr. Robinson's decision to name 18 people to a committee in search of a new athletic director? 89.2% of you said no. Wonderful. Is 18 people on a search committee too many, not enough, or just right? 90.9% of you said way too many. Why do you think Isaiah Lamb entered his name into the transfer portal? This was a close one. 37.9% of you said NIL money from FBS schools. I tend to agree with that one. Will Isaiah Lamb return to FAMU? 54.5% of you say no. Still time to go vote. Go to twitter.com, O&G Strike Zone. The poll will still be up. So actually, final results will be sometime tomorrow evening. So you still have time to vote. If you're catching this show on replay, you can still go vote. The show will be available on the BCSN Pod Zone, which is the podcast only version, which you can listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere you listen to podcasts. I'll retweet the link again if you want to donate to our show. We appreciate you. All the callers for calling in. Thank you for calling. We appreciate your input. Thank you all for chatting on Facebook and YouTube and being part of the show. Make sure to share the show. Make sure to follow us at O&G Strike Zone on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we really appreciate all of you. Leonard, go ahead and call Elon if you would. Thank you guys for watching. Next week's show will be, I'm sure it'll be fire. We'll see what's happening. Hopefully, we'll probably get into talking about a little softball preview. We'll have to try to see if we can get the softball coach on the show as they get ready to head to their softball meet. Baseball, big weekend, Alabama State. So head over to the baseball field, Moore Kittles Field, and go check them out this weekend. Got a chance to move into first place in the East if the boys get it done. So make sure to go out, be loud, and support the Rattlers this weekend. That's going to do it for the show. Thank you to our producer, Melody, for everything she did, hanging in there for a little overtime. We appreciate you. For Kelvin and Kofi, I'm Brian. Coughing it out here at the end. That's going to do it. Rattler Nation. Right. Stay strong.
That's your name.
What's your name, Mel?
I'm trying to get us out of here. All right. Be quiet. Hey, Rattler Nation, be strong, be loud, and don't forget to strike, and strike again. Peace out.